Hey!
He did it!
Whoa.
So we had this malfunction a couple days ago with the 10-minute drill feed, and I thought it was great. So we've decided to make it maybe a regular Friday feature here on the After Drill video. Popping up the filters. And just see how it goes, because I feel like it really jazzes up the video and gives it an added flavor. Spooky stories to tell in the dark here on After Drill. Hi, everyone. Beef.
Drew.
With you on a Friday.
You're getting all of them now. I'm kind
festive
of
football
pissed
Friday.
Off right now.
Yeah, right. Should I get out of frame for a minute, Drew, and let you party?
Thank you.
There's Drew.
Woo! Oh,
Nice.
hey.
I like the helmet.
Yeah.
Helmet head. So it's Football Friday, guys. We're getting ready for Jags Cowboys Sunday. Big D, Dallas. Jags go in a 3-point favorite.
Yes.
Looking to bounce back and get back on track. 4-2 would feel a whole lot better than 3-3. That's for damn sure.
Yes, it would.
The Cowboys are not very good.
Right.
Okay. They're not a strong team. They're deep down in the power polls. They're not very good. It's big bushy beard for Drew. And I feel like the Jags should win this game.
They should.
The matchups show that the Jags should be deservedly favored and expected to win this game. The Jags secondary is stout. The wide receivers are not very good in Dallas. The one place that the Jags had issues last year, and they've had issues this year too, is they can get got in the run game, and you're going up against arguably one of the best running backs in the league, at least top 5 in Ezekiel Elliott, and he's going to give the Jags fits, and that's the one thing you got to shut down. If you can shut down Zeke, I feel like you're on your way.
For me, I think as long as the Jags don't turn the football over, I think they'll be okay. I think that's the big thing that's obviously plagued them as I do my research here. That's plagued them so far in these football games is they just, for whatever reason, cannot stop turning the ball over. I think they're -7 in turnover margin. They only have 1 defensive score on the year. They had a ton last year. So for me, I think the only way this Dallas offense can score enough points to beat Jacksonville is going to be if the Jags give them the ball deep in their own territory of turnovers time and time again, potentially. Because I just don't see Dak Prescott being able to push the ball down the field in any way against this defense.
No, it's funny. CBS Sports popped up their QB power rankings, which is a cute play on the NFL power rankings, and they rated the quarterbacks at this particular stage of the season where they're at. Blake was 25th on that list.
Okay.
Which, I don't think, based on how things went against Kansas City, is entirely unfair. He's probably at best...
It's just like, if you had done it a week before Kansas City, you'd have put him like 18.
I was going to say, he's probably, at best, he's, the bottom half.
Yeah.
And, at worst, he's bottom third. So he's probably in that...
I've always
16
said,
to 24 range most days.
I've always said his absolute ceiling. His ceiling is like 15 to 18 is like his ceiling.
Yeah.
He typically sits anywhere from like 18 to 23.
Right.
If you asked me.
And he was 25 because he had an absolute dog meat game.
Yeah.
Played terrible.
Yeah.
And they knocked him down a couple spots.
Where they put Dak?
I don't know where Dak was. Drew Brees was number 1 on this one. Shocking.
Okay.
Because he's having, an astronomical season at the age of 39. It's unbelievable what Drew Brees is doing. I mean, it's cartoonish what Drew Brees is doing right now. That he may break his own passing percentage record this year.
Hopefully, if he does, they'll give him another laminated sheet in the middle of a game, and that'll be his big token.
That's
his
cool.
Trophy. Very cool.
It was very cool.
Come on, NFL. That was so weak.
It was a little weak.
Here's this laminated piece. Like, who did that?
I don't know. Meanwhile, on the college football side, it's not the world's most sexy weekend, but in the SEC there is one massive game, and that's Saturday afternoon in Death Valley as Georgia rolls in. LSU trying to bounce back after the loss at Florida. Death Valley is always an incredibly tough place to play. Georgia, while it wouldn't be, the sky is falling were they to lose this game, if they win it, then they're feeling really, really great about themselves as they head into the
here's the
SEC.
Here's the problem for Georgia now. The problem is even if they go through this regular season undefeated, you still got the tilt with Bama in the SEC title game. And I would assume, if you ask me now, who would I pick to win, I would say Bama. And Notre Dame is going to go undefeated, barring a monumental effort here to screw things up for themselves. And an undefeated Notre Dame team's getting in over a one-loss Georgia. Georgia...
well, especially if that one loss is... If that one loss is to Bama in the title game,
yes,
you still think Undefeated Notre Dame. Yeah, you're probably
Yes.
right. Undefeated Notre Dame.
Yes.
You're probably right. Matt writes that the Jags need to address quarterback and running back in the offseason. Fournette needs help, and Yeldon is not it. I understand the sentiment, but I feel like the team feels like they have addressed substantial draft capital in the running back position. So were they to address it, it would probably be more likely the mid-round type route.
As far as Blake goes, let's see how the rest of the year goes.
Which I'm okay with, by the way. I would rather you take guys in the 3rd through 5th round at running back and, hope you snag a David Johnson or a Kareem Hunt than spend high capital draft picks on Leonard Fournette type backs. Not to say that Leonard Fournette's not a good back when he's healthy, but, number 4 is a lot to spend on a running back. And if you get a Saquon Barkley, you get a Todd Gurley, you're feeling great about life. Right now, Leonard Fournette, due to his health concerns, and really, to an extent, also performance-wise, when he is healthy, although he's a big sledgehammer, the per rush average is not spectacular. So you're not feeling, you're not doing backflips about what you're getting from a running back you took number 4 overall.
No. Right now, and again, as far as the quarterback position goes, the Jaguars are in this kind of position here with the way they set up Bortles' contract. They basically have, if they want to pull the trigger after this year, they can, and then they'll probably have another year to do so. It's basically a 2-year deal. Option after one type thing. If the Jags were to explore drafting a quarterback next year, again, let's see how the rest of the season plays out. Let's see how he does. I get that's where everybody wants to go after that Kansas City loss.
Look, the rest of the season is going to dictate what happens to Blake Bortles.
Yeah,
it's if he has 2 or 3 more games like Kansas City the rest of the way, then yeah, they're probably
like
I
promise. Like they like Bortles, but they're not blind. Like they see fans.
They're not
right,
blind. They're not stupid.
They understand. Trust them. Just trust them a little bit. I think they know what they're doing.
I think if, and this isn't based on any intelligence or personal knowledge within the organization, but I would suspect that Tom Coughlin and Dave Caldwell know what they have. More so Tom Coughlin because he has no attachment to Bortles. He didn't draft him. I would imagine he took a real antiseptic look at things and looked at the guys that were available. And like you've said repeatedly, Drew, it's not that nobody thinks Blake Bortles is better than Kirk Cousins.
Right.
But Blake, on a team-friendly deal that you can get out of in a year versus an $80 million contract that you're locked into at guaranteed money is a very different thing.
The bottom line is the Jaguars are not built to win through quarterback play. Obviously, good quarterback play elevates any team exponentially. We all know that. But the way that the Jags are built, they've built around defense and run game. Granted, we haven't really seen that run game this year, which is, I think, kind of an issue with the up and downness of the offense because here's this team that's built to play good defense and be a power-running football team, which is what any of the coaches would have told you in the offseason. And to be quite frank, they can't do that right now, so the offense looks weird. But all your money really is stacked defensively, and you just paid Andrew Norwell a big chunk of change. If you want to keep all those pieces, and you want to keep what makes the Jags good, what makes the Jags, you have to kind of take your medicine in other positions. And right now, they felt comfortable enough with Blake Bortles in that situation. And like I've said time and time again, it was honest to God the only option for the Jaguars this offseason. It was either that, it was either pay Blake Bortles this, like you said, team-friendly contract, which really is not as much money as people think it is.
It's a very competitive in the marketplace.
Right. Or you could spend an extra, really more like $40 million more guaranteed dollars to pay Kirk Cousins, who, yes, is better, but honestly has not won a damn thing his entire career. So why would you do that?
And the problem is, people have thrown out in the last, week, why didn't they make a move on Teddy Bridgewater? Well, at the time, Teddy Bridgewater was a free agent. Now, yeah, he went to the Jets on a 1-year deal, but they felt better sending a 6th-round pick for Kessler, who's on a cheaper deal and a little more, again, team-friendly. I mean, they've got guys that are making a lot of money, and they've got guys that are going to need to get paid. It's a balancing act with all these guys. I mean, I'm sure, if they could have gotten Teddy Bridgewater on Cody Kessler's contract for a 6th-round pick, yeah, they'd rather have Teddy Bridgewater.
And it's also just the nature of the deal, being a backup quarterback and not seeing a lot of Teddy Bridgewater, people automatically in their minds like, well, Teddy Bridgewater's better than Blake. Teddy Bridgewater's not better than Blake Bortles. They're like he's like the same but
Right.
smaller.
Right.
So
statistically, they're very comparable.
So. I don't know. And not to mention, knock on wood, Blake Bortles has stayed healthy, and Teddy Bridgewater almost lost a leg.
That's the one thing about Blake, man, is that dude is
tough as hell.
Always available. It's crazy. That dude does not get hurt. He's rugged. So hopefully, Jags get back on the winning track. Hopefully they come home 4-2 from Dallas, and then you're home for Houston, which is a very winnable game, and you're off to London for Philadelphia, which again is a tough opponent, but London is a huge advantage for the Jags. So hopefully you get back on track. God forbid you win 3 of these games in a row, man. All of a sudden you're right back feeling great about life.
Sure.
But like we've said, 2 out of these 3, any 2, and you're feeling fine. You're right back where you wanted to be. You're right back on the track, and you're right back on course. So the sky's not falling after the Kansas City loss. We're cool. And as much as perception-wise, it would be a huge kick in the nuts, and it would be so hard to swallow a poison pill where they did go lose at Dallas. It's not the end of the world if they lose this game.
And we really have to end this video now because Beef is tired. He's over here doing curls and getting googly eyes.
Getting googly eyes, just trying to stay with
About to go to space, potentially going to be a wizard or a cat.
I don't know. I feel like, is it space? Is it Mega Man? Am I a Transformer? I don't know. All I know is I just won this medal and I deserved it. So on that note, gang.
Yes.
Hope you enjoy the rest of your Friday. Enjoy the weather. It's gorgeous. Have a safe and happy weekend. Go Jags. We'll see you Monday on The Drill. Bye, Googans.